Hello. Turn this. Okay. Hello, YouTube. Hello, TikTok. Let me just move this to the side. Hello, hello. I can't see this. Let me just leave it like that. Okay, today my setup is a little bit different, so I'm going to be moving my head like from side to side. I know it's going to be a little bit distracting. I'll try not to do it that much, but just to let everybody know, if you see me doing this, it's because I'm streaming on TikTok here and I'm streaming on YouTube here. So I want to maintain eye contact as much as possible with you guys, but I will minimize it as much as possible so you guys can really follow me and not get distracted. Follow what I'm saying. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to go into it. I think I'm doing my life a little bit. When you go, so I'm doing my life at a different time, so I guess it's a bit later than usual. Anyway, today the topic of this live is embrace the WHOR in you. I don't want to say it because TikTok nowadays and YouTube are a bit they're a bit more stricter than usual. Hello, Continental VIP. But let me just say it once and see what's going to happen. maybe they won't say anything. So the topic of this video is embrace the whore and the slut in you. Before I go on, I would like to remind everybody that my TikTok subscription is live now, and you can subscribe to my videos. I'm going to be doing videos. There are certain videos that I won't be doing live. Hello. Thank you. There are certain videos that will only be for my subscribers. So if you're watching me on TikTok, thank you so much for the hats. If you're watching me on TikTok, you can subscribe to TikTok. It's £10 a month. If you're watching me on YouTube, there's a link in my bio, in my profile, that will take you to Patreon, and that's also £10 a month. So I will remind you guys later on in this, because I always forget. So I'm just going to say it now, and then I'll say it again later on in the video. I hope I don't forget. So the topic of this video is embrace the whore and the slut in you, or embrace being called a whore or a slut. The reason why I want to talk about this is because this is one of the core fears of a lot of women, and this is why they hide a lot. They hide their bodies, they hide what they have to say. They don't go out into the world, being big and whole and impacting people in the way they're supposed to, because they're scared of being, called these words. And like I said in my other video yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? If you are this distinct woman who has had these distinct sexual experiences, thank you so much for all the hats. Thank you so much. If you've had these distinct sexual experiences all your life, or for most of your life, and you know that part of your purpose, not part of your purpose is to reignite your sexual body again, because that's what you have to use to heal and to restore in other people and also yourself. Part of that is embracing the attacks that come towards you because of the world we live in. Not just the attacks, but also the good things that come towards you. You know, and one of those things is being called a whore. You know, that's just the world we live in right now. If you're a woman who embraces her sexuality and stands in it firmly, you know, that's one of the things that could happen. And I'm not just talking about sex, but also other things. So, but since we are talking about embracing the whore and the slut in you, it's embracing the part of you that loves sex, the part of you that will stay with a man that's not even the man that's like does you see as even beneath you, a man that's a good for nothing man that will keep you will keep that man just because you want the sex, you know. And a lot of women do this. A lot of women do this, but it's like it's hidden. Sometimes it's not hidden, but the reason why you do it is because you are trying to feed that part of you, but you're doing it in a shadowy way. You're not doing it in a sovereign way. You're not doing it in a way that is like where you're in control. Men do it too. Men, you know, stay with a woman who doesn't respect them, but because she's good at sex, or because they like the sex with her, so they'll keep that woman. So it's just one of those things. What about if you just came out and actually said, okay, I actually do like sex. I actually like sex. I like having sex like 3, 4 times a day. I and being open about it, because we don't do that because it's frowned upon. It's frowned upon to say that openly. And so also embracing the part of you that loves to feel deeply. You love to feel like things deeply. That's also frowned upon. People call you, you know, you're too emotional, you're this. You're supposed to be emotional. You're a human being, especially if you're this woman. The reason why you have to do this is because you have to reignite your the arousal in your body. In order for you to recreate this body in you that can restore and heal yourself and other people, you have to have that magnetism. And that magnetism it becomes alive and it becomes potent when your body is aroused. And arousal doesn't just mean sexual arousal. Arousal means when you're activated, but sexual arousal is also part of it. It means when you're feeling deeply, when you're vibrating. You know, you're vibrating. You're not holding anything back. So you love feeling deeply, but you know we hide it, like because it's frowned upon. So like, let's say you go to a business meeting and someone says something and you get angry, but you don't want to show them that you're angry. So you kind of cut the feeling off, or you suppress it. So you come out with a passive aggressive sentence or whatever. Um, uh, Whereas you could just admit that yes, you got triggered. What's wrong with being triggered? There's nothing wrong with that. You're supposed to be triggered whenever if you feel strongly about something, you're going to be triggered about that. There's nothing wrong. It's like people nowadays have made that a shameful thing. It's not shameful. You're supposed to be triggered. That's the whole point. So you can figure out where can I work. If this is something that triggers me and it takes me down, if you admit that you're triggered, then you can work on it. You can control it. You can direct it. But if you deny the feeling, then you can't do anything about it because you're in denial of it. And this is all part of embracing all the feelings, all the sensations that you feel. Thank you. Thank you so much for the hearts. Part of this is also embracing loving the sensation, even sensations that are supposed to be negative, sensations that are seen as hurtful, the sensation to hurt someone, the sensation to kill, even all of those things are, you have to embrace all of that because those are all natural parts of you. Suppressing those things is the reason why we do passive aggressive things, that we get into fights and we do things like, you know, on these online fighting, these women calling women bitches and all that, it's because of this aggression that we have in us that we want to release, but the only way we can release it, because we're not admitting it, is in those passive aggressive ways. Whereas if you just say that, you know what, I'm angry, you hurt me, you admit it, then you can deal with it in a way that's pure, you know. So even anger is a very arousing feeling. It's a very arousing sensation, and it can be enjoyable. This happened to me actually this morning. Today, I was I was driving back home, and I made a wrong turn. It was definitely straight up. It was my fault. I should have, shouldn't have made that turn. So the guy that was behind me, like, kind of got confused and started shouting at me. So I shouted back at him, and I got a bit of it. We got into a bit of a tussle. It wasn't really that much, but it was like he was angry because I made a mistake, and I also shouted back because I didn't want to back down. But after, when I drove off, I was like, oh, I like this feeling. I was like, I like this feeling of anger that's in me. That's not natural. It's not that it's not natural. It's frowned upon to say that. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the hats. It's frowned upon to say that. It's frowned upon to say that you get aroused by anger. You get aroused by even hate. But if we look at social media, that's what we see today. People getting deeply aroused and enticed, and by anger and by all these feelings. So your subconscious is going to run you like that when we don't admit what we feel. So a woman who embraces being called a whore, being called a slut, because she's not scared of feeling, whatever she wants, whatever she feels. She is not scared of standing in her sexuality. She's not scared of seeing herself as a sexual being. Um, it's gonna accept all of those feelings. It's gonna be open to all these primal feelings and has to accept those things, especially if you're this woman who has had these distinct sexual experiences. Like I said yesterday, I don't know whether you guys were here yesterday, but there's a distinct woman I'm talking to, a woman who has to use her sexual body because that's where her wealth and her fulfillment lies. So embracing the whore in you is really embracing, like I said, the arousal in you, and not judging it, pushing it down, not feeling like, this is wrong, because this is what happened to us since we were young. Like, when you were young, you were this boisterous, you were running around, dancing, touching people, not being scared of living, not being scared of feeling alive. And your parents or your caregivers, were like constantly like, stop that, don't do that. No, you should share. You should be nice to uncle. You should be nice to this. Don't run out. Don't just touch people like that. Don't just sit like that with your legs open. And so, because we were constantly beaten down, we stopped feeling alive. We stopped feeling that this is natural in us. This is like something that thank you so much. This is natural in us. And um, and now we are ashamed of it. We are ashamed of feeling sexual. We are ashamed of feeling angry. We are ashamed of feeling deeply. We don't want to be triggered, or we hide our triggers. We push all of these things down, because we don't want to be judged, because we are judging ourselves. Can anybody tell me what? I should have done this live earlier a little bit. Can anybody tell me if they've had these experiences? I don't know if any of my followers are here. So since you've been young, if you've always had people wanting to touch you all the time, you know, men being attracted to you sexually, wanting to like sexually have you, um, even women, wanting to be close to you, wanting to touch you. If you've had like a distinct sexual traumatic experience, that was part of your initiation. Um, these are all of the things that you need to look at. You need to go back and look at your life and see, okay, what are some of the things that happened to me that really had a distinct impact on me? And you will know. But the woman that I'm talking to, she knows already that this is her purpose. Even if she's hiding it, even if she's like, she doesn't want to talk about it, she doesn't want to associate with it, she can feel it. She can feel that, this is where my fulfillment lies. I have this potent sexual power and I have to use that. That's where my wealth is. That's where my fulfillment is. And so this is not this woman is not, she's not unsure about it. She already knows. Does anybody have anything to say, anything to contribute to this life? So what is it worth to you? What is it worth to you to dance? What is it worth to you to dance so rivetingly, to thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Continental VIP, for sharing the live. Thank you. um What is it worth to you to dance so rivetingly, so rivetingly that you touch people all over the world? Like you have a dance class, you have dance classes like in, I don't know, in different parts of the world, and you whenever you dance in front of people, because you're using your body as, to inspire people, to incite people, uh, someone gets healed instantly. You even get called by, I don't know, very important people, even governments, because your dancing is so powerful that you attract that kind of audience. What is it worth to you? What is that worth to you? What is it worth to you that um, you get paid thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds just for your dancing? Hello. Um, the people that want me to invite them to the conversation, you have to contribute first. If you contribute, like if you tell me what if you whether you have an experience about what I'm talking about, or whether you understand what I'm talking about, or you contribute your own personal experience, engage with the life. Once you engage with the life, then I know whether you are listening or whether you are interested actually. Then I can consider inviting you. But to just ask to be invited without me knowing whether you are actually interested in the topic, that's that's I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to be doing that, because that's not. It's going to derail me, and it's going to derail the topic. So if you want to be invited, contribute to the topic. Show me that you're understanding, or it's important to you. Even it's you're listening, you have a personal experience. This topic is mainly for women actually, but if you are a man and you are interested in it, it's that's fine too. But that's the prerequisite for being invited. um, okay, so I think I'm going to do this live again tomorrow, because today I've got some people here. I don't want to. I've got some guests. I don't wanna. I don't know if they're sleeping. I don't want to wake them up. So hello, Gem 5250. Hello. Hello. Hello, Keisha. Thank you. Thank you so much. I missed you too. So, as this woman has to, um, sexual power is dormant right now. Your sexual power doesn't just mean it doesn't mean just mean having sex. It's not just related to sex. It's also related to your primal instincts, your ability to, like, let's say, your ability to walk down the street freely, your ability to live freely in your body. Like, imagine walking down the street buoyantly, just walking down, not having a care about how, they say people are supposed to walk, how they say a woman is supposed to walk. You're just walking buoyantly because you feel alive, you feel aroused, you feel you 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 yeah, you feel alive. That's really the word. Um, you can walk in front of, you can go to, let's say, a party, and just walk in, go to the front, and not be bothered by anyone looking at me, because you're free in your body. You can walk in front of a group of men and not be scared that someone's going to be looking at you sexually. A lot of women have this issue. They run away from the male gaze. They don't want men to look at them, so they hide, they shrink. All of that is like you, um, contracting your body, not allowing yourself to be free, because you don't want to acknowledge your sexuality. You don't want to acknowledge that you can arouse that kind of gaze from men and from women, and so you hide on the clothes, or you hide on the weight, and all in all the ways that you hide. Your sexual power is also dormant if you're not speaking up, if you're not talking about exactly what you want to talk about, and talk about it with fire and passion and like aliveness, in the boardroom, wherever you are, in the boardroom, in front of a group of people. Let's say you're supposed to give a talk, like a TED talk, or you're supposed to talk in front of tens of thousands of people. You need that sexual power. You need that your voice is linked to your sex. You don't just speak. We, as a woman, especially this distinct woman, you don't just talk from your voice box. You don't just talk from your your mouth. You talk from your vagina, your brain. That's how you pull the primal power up to be able to project. And so you cannot leave the vagina back there and not be connected to it, or not be connected to your body, and just talk from the mouth, because your mouth is just the tool which you use to say what you want to say. But the feeling behind what you're saying, the energy behind what you're saying, comes from your body. It comes from your sexual body, from your primal body. So for you to be able to command and talk to about tens of thousands of people on a stage, you need all of that. You need all of that power. You need to be able to stand in front of them and not be scared to be called a whore, to be called a slut, to be able to take all of that in, all of their judgments. What is she doing? What's she talking about? Why does she look like that? Where's she from? Look at her eyes. Look at her this. All of those judgments that people run away from. That's also part of it. You're running away from it because you don't want to be criticized. You don't want to be called, yeah, you don't want to be called a whore. You don't want to be called a slut. You don't want to be called too much. She's too much. She's doing too much. She's saying too much. You don't want to be. Uh, you don't want to be seen. You don't want to be. Yeah, you don't want people to see you, because you're scared that when people look at you, they're going to see not just the things that you think are good, or are positive in you, but you're also scared that they might see that, she's evil, she has an evil side. Let me just say that's a better way to say it. She's selfish. You don't want people to see the killer in you. You don't want people to see the part of you that likes to hurt people, the part of you that's petty, the part of you that likes to gossip, the part of you that the part of you that's sexual, that loves to have sex. You don't want people to see the part of you that um, is nasty. You don't want people to see all of those things. And so, you don't want to be seen. That's the word. You don't want to be seen. So part of embracing your sexual power, reigniting your sexual power, you have to embrace all of that, because that's all part of you. You are both God and the devil. All of that is a part of you. You have There's no such thing as positive and negative, but it's just it's the way people say it. It's all good. It's all positive in you. It's all part of who you are. So for you to be free in your body, to be able to teach and say what you want to say, to be able to walk in front of a group of men, to be able to host a huge TED talk, to be able to teach how to teach women how to dance, to move your body, freely and not be unencumbered by people looking at you and seeing you as a sexual being, to be able to be in a relationship with a guy and have a great sexual experience where you're not hiding during the sex and he's not hiding, because you're not scared of showing him the part of you that wants to dominate him. You're not scared of showing him the part of you that is sadistic, that likes hurting him actually during sex. You're not scared of showing the part of you that is wants to be the little girl sometimes, wants to be loved, wants to be nurtured. You're not hiding your killer instinct. So to embrace all of that, you have to ignite your sexual body. Do you know that this woman that I'm talking to, this woman that knows that this is where her wealth and fulfillment lies. If do you know that you can heal people with your touch? That's how potent your body is. Your body, when it's healed, it's not really healed, when it's fully aroused and fully remembered again. Once you get back to embracing every part of you, both the dark parts and the light parts, and even the parts that you don't understand, once you embrace all of that again and you are free in your body as much as possible, your touch can heal. This is these things that we say that Jesus did. He's like Jesus used to touch people and heal them. We refer to Jesus and what he used to do as something that is so far away from us, like that's something like we cannot even relate to. Do you know that you can do that? Do you know you can just touch a person that's ill and instantly your touch can heal them? You can do that too. That's the power of your sexual body. Once it's remembered again, once it's reignited again, once you become whole again, you accept every part of you. You can do that. How can a pastor do that? We watch pastors every day standing in front of the pulpit, touching people, and then they claim to heal them. Okay, so how do we accept it by a pastor when you, the woman that has you are the embodiment of sexuality, you are the embodiment of healing and regeneration and nurturing? How is it that you, as a woman, you can do that? You can. We don't even know the power that we have. That's another thing. You know. Do you know that you can massage someone? You can massage someone with your touch and rearrange their bones. You can rearrange their bones so they become all aligned just with your touch. We really don't know. We don't know the power we have once we become whole again. But it involves embracing all of these things that come against us, and that's one of the reasons. And I understand, I understand that we run away from being called a whore. This is a very distinct fear that a lot of women have. They don't want to be called a whore at all, because the whore in us has been shamed and diminished and talked about like she's a dog in the street. But she is a very powerful part of us. And there is a reason why that happened. There's a reason why she was shamed and diminished. Why would someone shame that part, if any part, or why would someone try to diminish something about women or anyone when if it's not powerful, if it doesn't have any value? The reason why it's so shamed, so diminished, is because it's powerful. That's why. Otherwise, what's the point? Why would someone spend so much time diminishing the whore, diminishing the slut, diminishing the sexual part of the woman, the sexual body of the woman, if there's no value in it? No one would do that. There's immense power in your sexuality. And so therefore, it's time women realize that there are distinct women in the world whose purpose it is to use their sexual body to heal, to restore, and to re-empower again, or to empower again themselves and other people, men, women, children. And you have that power in your body, not in your brain, not in your academics, not in your academics. Yeah, that's the other part. It's not in your academics, it's not in your thinking center, it's in your feeling center, in your arousal center, in your body that is aroused and feeling alive. um So what is it what to you? What is it what to you to be that kind of person? I know it's a lot of power, but it also involves having taking a lot of responsibility. What is that worth to you? Imagine if you could just heal people with your touch. Imagine how much that is worth. Imagine the people that will seek you out. Imagine if you actually had that magic coochie. You know, the magic coochie that people talk about that instantly can heal a man. That people talk about. That's not something that is like just talked about because it's just frivolous or like it's imaginary. This is a real thing. But you have to be healed yourself. You have to embrace every part of you. You have to restore both the dark and the light in you. And then you have the capacity to be like a sacred prostitute to men, where they seek you out because they want to become whole again. You have to be whole first. You have to be able to have that healing power in your body, not in your mind, like I said, not in your brain, in your body. That's where it lies. What is it worth to you that if you, let's say, you walk down the street, you're able to walk down the street with such aliveness and buoyancy that people literally stop dead in their tracks to look at you? What is it worth to you to have? I know this is what gets a lot of women, activated. And while this is true, this is not the point of that. But yeah, let's just put it there. What is it worth to you to have like your man or your men obsessed with you to the point where they they can't stay away from you, or they like this is also a lot of women want this, but this is it can be tiring, but it's like, hey, if you want it, you want it, you want what you want. But you have the capacity to have that. you know Imagine if since you were young, people wanted to touch you, people wanted to touch you all the time, people wanted to be next to you, people wanting to like take advantage of you sexually. What do you think that is? That is, they could sense your sexual energy and they just wanted to tap into that. So this is why I'm talking to this distinct woman who, yeah, yes, yes, I have too, yes. This is why I'm talking to this distinct woman who has had this, probably most likely has had this very traumatic sexual experience when she was young. Yeah, stress and depression. Yeah, that can all make it go away. Yeah. hmm But it can be brought back. But it will have you have to deal with the shame you put on yourself about these parts of you that you don't want to be seen, that you don't want to acknowledge. The whore in you has to be she has to be elevated in you again. You have to embrace her. You have to accept that there's part of you That is a whore. That is whorish. That is sluttish. You like sex, you like having sex with a guy that you really want, you would be stay with a man who is good at sex, even if he's a useless guy and he doesn't do anything for you. You know, um, that's part of being whorish. You seek out a guy just because he's good at sex. That's part of it. That's all part of it. You have to embrace the killer in you, the part of you that wants to kill people sometimes. Yeah, and not shame that part. You have to embrace the part of you that sometimes is hurt. You have to embrace the part of you that gets triggered. You have to embrace the part of you that is nasty and selfish and likes to gossip and um, likes to hurt people sometimes. You have to embrace the part of you that is um, that has maybe a scarcity mentality. That's a little bit too academic. You have to embrace the part of you that likes to humiliate people. You have to embrace the part of you that likes to be humiliated. All of these things, have to be embraced. But the core of the reason why I wanted to start with this topic is the whore. A lot of women have a problem with this, and this cannot be avoided. If you want to ignite this power in you, the sexual power, the whore in you has to be embraced. That one cannot be tiptoed around. The whore in you has to be embraced fully. You cannot be scared of people calling you a man calling you a slut, a whore. You cannot run away from it. The reason why when you run away from it is why you cannot be fully present. Let's say you're at work and you're supposed to give a talk. You're supposed to stand in front of people and talk and animate your body. The reason why you don't do that, if you don't do it that well, is because you don't want to people to see that aliveness in the body. You're more fearful of the energetic exchange. Yeah. Okay. So the energetic exchange, you once you are powerful in your stance, in your sexual body, you are above all of that. You become above all of that. Okay, let me give an example. Um, let's give the example of RAPE. I don't want to say the word before I get banned again. But if you guys know what I'm talking about, RAPE. Okay, let's give an example. Okay, so RAPE, rape, has nothing to do with sex. It has to do with power. It has to do with pushing someone down and taking from them what doesn't want to be given. Like, a guy or a woman, but most of the time it's a guy who would do that. He likes to push a woman down and take from her. The enjoyment, the fulfillment he gets from that is in the taking something that doesn't want to be given. If he like kind of pushed her down and she suddenly said, oh, you don't have to do all this. Please stop hurting me. You don't have to do it. Just take it here, here, here. I'm gonna give it to you willingly. At that moment, he's gonna lose interest. He's gonna be like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it like that. I want you to resist. So the joy of him doing that to the woman is in taking it by force. Okay, so if you are suffering in your sexual body and you're walking around feeling good, feeling sexual, feeling alive in your body, and a guy like that comes across you, he's gonna look at you and not want to do that to you because he's like, this woman is not, she's so full in her sexual body. If I even want to rape her, she's not going to, it's not going to be enjoyable to me because she's not scared. She doesn't seem frigid. She doesn't seem like she's scared of men looking at her. She doesn't seem small. She doesn't seem like she's resisting. She seems open and expansive. And if I want to do that to her, I'm not going to enjoy it because she might probably just say, hey, here I am, do what you want to do. I'm not scared, and I can't enjoy that. So this is the example I'm giving. I'm giving this example to show you in a real sense how being fully sexually empowered, how that can take away the fear of this energetic exchange you're talking about. When you're fully in your sexual power, the energetic exchange, you are in your power already. That energetic exchange, no matter what it is is it's not going to do anything to you because you are sexually full already. You didn't come into that relationship, that sexual relationship or that sexual activity as a weak thing, or a little small thing, or a little thing that wants to be made whole by that sexual interaction. You came fully as a fully sexual woman, and this is also why you need to embrace the slot in you, because when you are when you embrace the whore and the slot in you, you can openly say to your man, you know what, I just want to have sex. I just want to have sex with you. You're not hiding behind it. You're not like pretending you don't want to have sex when you really do want to have sex. So then you pretend to be interested in doing other things, like like going out for a meal, or which is not, it's not to say that you shouldn't do that. You but you don't act like you don't want the sex. So now you're in control because you are clear about what you want. You're not trying to make it seem like he's the one who wants it, and then afterwards you feel like you've been taken advantage of because you stood fully in your sexuality. You were not ashamed of it. You are not ashamed of saying, I want to have sex. I'm going to enjoy it. I want to enjoy having sex with you. You know. So you are you didn't start off as someone who can be taken advantage of, because there's no taking advantage of you, because you wanted it too, and you made it clear to him. So this is what I'm talking about. This is why it's also um, important for this woman especially to embrace the whore and the slut in you. But you can only do that when you stop judging the whore and the slut in you, when you stop shaming her and embrace her fully. You are a sexual woman. You are a sexual being. This is what I was also saying yesterday, and I think I said it in another video. As women, but especially for this woman, specifically for this distinct woman, we tend to forget. It's not that we forget. We tend to just put this part of us to the back. Like we want to say everything about ourselves, except that I'm a mother. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. I'm a friend. But I'm a sexual woman. No, we don't want to talk about that. Like that's not part of it. That's you're a sexual being. And sometimes you do like having sex and you do enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with that. If it's not being bastardized, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. So, and that will hello YouTube. That will enable you to just be free. Imagine walking into a party and then you're just full. You're just full of life, full of laughter. You can dance any way you want. You're so full of yourself. This is another thing that people people say you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be full of yourself. If you're not full of yourself, what will you be full of? I don't understand. You should be full of yourself. You should absolutely be full of yourself. You should be full of yourself. You should be full of confidence, full of full of feeling good about yourself. you know so you can dance any way you want. You can engage with people freely, because you're not hiding from people judging you. You're not hiding from people saying, why is she doing this? Who is this woman? You're not hiding from anything. You're not hiding from any nastiness, because you acknowledge the nastiness in you. You're not hiding from any gossip. You're not hiding from any evil eye, which is, there's no evil eye. It's just the only eye that you are also projecting onto yourself. You are not hiding from anything. You're not running away from anything. So you can dance anyhow you want. Imagine being in that way, so much so that the host of the party or people in the party, they see you. Thank you so much for the hats. People in the party, they see you, and now they say to you, they tell you that, you know what, we want you to start hosting parties for us internationally. We are, we this is what we do all over. We travel all over the world, and we want you to be a host, because we've seen how you work the room. You're so free and you're so vibrant, and you make everyone feel good, because you're not hiding anything about you, and we want you to do this for us, and they pay you thousands and thousands of pounds, and then other people also see you, they also employ you. Imagine being that kind of free. So it starts with embracing the things that you're scared of being called. The first one is being called a whore. You have to be able to, you have to, that is, that, like I said, that one cannot be, it cannot be tiptoed around. If the reason why a lot of women don't do what they're supposed to be doing, or they are not in the way they're supposed to, they don't dress the way they're supposed to dress, they want to dress, they don't look the way, they don't want to look desirable, they don't want to speak and say exactly what they want to say, they don't want to um, say what they want, ask for what they want during sex. They don't want to apply for the position that they actually know they can have. They don't want to go for the things in life. It's because they are scared of being called too much. You're too sexual. Sexual meaning you're too forward. You're too expressive. You express everything that you want. You know, um, and so you're scared of being called a whore. You're scared of being called a slut. You're scared of being called a witch. You know, imagine being able to make potions because your sexual body is so potent. Your touch in itself, like I said, can heal people. But now you make potions. Your potions can heal people immediately. Imagine having that kind of power. So if you're scared of being called a witch too, that's another thing. Because that's what's going to happen. You're going to be able to transform people. You're going to be able to heal people like the pastors do. You know, you're going to be able to heal people. You're going to be able to, with your touch, with your potions, with your words, with your energy. People want to be around you. So embracing the whole is the very first step. I had to do this even before I started these videos. Like 2 years ago, when I started, before I started talking about, that's how I started with my TikTok videos. I started talking about sexuality. I had to deal with that in me because I too was scared. I already knew what people are going to call me, especially the men. So what I did, what worked for me might not work for you, but there are other ways. But what I did started, I wrote down all the words that I thought people were going to call me, and they did call me some of those words at the beginning, and it hurt at the beginning, but I kept going and kept going, and now I really don't care that much because it's not. It's not worth it to me to not speak out, to not say what I know I'm here to say, to not teach what I'm here to teach, just because someone is going to call me a whore. I don't care. It's not a, it's not a, it's not a thing for me. It's not like a, it's not an insult because there's a part of me that is a whore. There's a part of me that does like having sex. There's a part of me that does enjoy the company of men. I remember your first videos. Oh, you have them on saved. Oh, wow. You're my longtime fan then. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here with me, Keisha. Yeah. So I had to write down all of these things. I wrote down what I think they were going to call me: prostitute, whore, Jezebel. They didn't call me Jezebel, but they did call me whore, prostitute. They didn't say prostitute. They kind of said it in a sentence, all of these other words like succubus, slut, you know. So that's the very first part, to embrace your sexual body, to embrace your sexual power, to reignite it, to be able to be free in your body in the world, to be able to speak up, do what you want to do, be full in your body, be able to walk down. I went to Bali, like, when was this? 5 years ago? No, in 2019. 6 years ago. I went to Bali and I was there for like 9 days, so 9 days or so, 9 or 10 days. And uh, there was this elaborate retreat I went to. Thank you so much, Keisha, for your hats. Thank you so much. There was this elaborate retreat that I was part of, and there was this event where everyone was taken in to the room to be with the coach, the head coach, and she would ask you like, "What do you really want? What do you really want?" You know what I said? I said, I want to walk freely." I still remember that. I was like, everybody said something else. Like I thought that what I wanted was frivolous because I just said I just want to walk. I want to walk freely. And the lady, she told me, "Okay, show me how you want to walk." So I walked around the room how I envisioned it. When I think about it now, I didn't really know what I was saying, and I didn't really know why I said that and why that was so important to me. But what I meant is that I wanted to be free in my body, to be able to walk the way I want to walk. And that sounded, it still sounds frivolous, but a lot of women have this desire inside of them, even if they cannot express it, to just be able to walk freely. Walk uh, with a buoyancy, with an aliveness, just be bouncing, not bouncing, like, what's the word? Frolicking, frolicking on the street, just being free, being yeah, being free, being alive, being buoyant, and not having to be like in the corner all the time, not having to be like tight, uptight, having being. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of you. Thank you, Uli. Not having to be to run away, go into the corner, and So yeah, this is a main thing is embrace the war and the slot in you. You have to do it first, unfortunately, but which is also it's also fortunate because you show people. Once you show people that, then then people know how to treat you too. But if you don't, if you're shaming the whore in you, if every time you feel like sexual desire, every time you're aroused, you push it down because you feel bad to feel it. Every time you and this sexual desire can come up anytime. You could be taking you could be taking your kids to school, and then it just suddenly comes up, or you could just see a random man, and then it just comes up. Sometimes that happens. That's the desire in you because it's primal. It doesn't care about what is proper. It's not proper. It doesn't care about respect, proper or whatever. So every time you feel it, you push it down. Every time you want to say something, you push it down. Every time you uh, want to express that you're triggered, or you want to really say, um, express that you're angry, you push it down. Then you're pushing it down because you feel like it's wrong. And I know we've been raised like that to feel like you shouldn't express your anger. You shouldn't be angry. You shouldn't be sad. You shouldn't feel sexual. You shouldn't feel alive. You shouldn't be skipping about. That's irresponsible, especially when you get to a certain age. You know, you shouldn't be sitting down like being all. You shouldn't be like sitting down freely. You shouldn't wear this when you get to a certain age. You shouldn't wear that. You should all these rules. And you wonder why we're all crazy as hell. There's all these rules that we have that keep us so small, keep us so contorted. So how can you be free? How you know? So this part is really important. This one cannot be skipped. It cannot be skipped. It cannot be tiptoed around. You have to go straight to the wall in you, straight. It doesn't mean you have to act like sexual overtly, but you have to at least accept it. You have to accept this part in you. You have to accept it. You have to sit in it. You have to um, acknowledge it. That's the word. Um, it's kind of like women who, and men too, but let me just give an example of women. Women who say that these are like primal things that are frowned upon, and this is why we don't want to accept them, because it's like it's not acceptable to accept these kind of things in us. It's kind of like women. So the example I wanted to give in that, it's like a woman who uh, always seems to date men that cheat on her. Like you know, your past three men that you dated or you were in a relationship, every single one of them cheated on you. Now, this woman, if I were to ask her, if somebody were to ask her, so what's the issue? Why does this happen? She'd be like, okay, I don't know. I just don't know. I just seem to just pick men who always cheat on me. They're always doing this. They're always doing this. Um, the issue really is that it's not that it's the men that are doing this and doing that. It's there's a part of her that likes that. There's an unconscious part of her that likes men that cheat on her. That's why she picked them out. Because not all men cheat on women. You know, not all men do that. There's a part of her that likes that when a man cheats, then she gets angry, then she can really become alive. That anger makes her alive. That rage that comes out, and so then they have sex or whatever, and then she can really feel the rage, and then they calm down for a little bit, and then he goes and cheats again, and then she becomes enraged again, and then the make-up sex and all of that. And I know this is politically incorrect to say, but this if you're always dating a guy that does this one thing, like always cheats on you, always you know does this one similar thing, there's a part of you that likes it, even if you don't know about it, because it's in your subconscious. And this is what I'm saying, that if you just admit that, yes, I do like men that cheat on me, I just don't like that they cheat on me so much. I don't want them to be cheating on me like all the time. But yes, if they cheat on me, like let's say a few times a year, that's fine. It's counterintuitive to say that. It's very politically incorrect. But this is what's true. Our lives show us what is true. There was a part in my life when there was a time in my life I was always broke, always broke, never had enough money, never had enough money. And I had to sit with myself and ask myself, why is this happening? Why? As intelligent and smart as I am, why am I always broke? There's a part of me that liked that, because I could take actions to make money. I was smart enough, I was intelligent enough. I could make more money. The job I was working in, I could have applied for another job to get more higher salary. I could have started a business on the side. I could have um, made money generating activities. But the part of me that likes being broke has an appealing factor. Like when you're broke, you don't really have to take responsibility for it, lots of things. You don't have to, you can opt out of events, you can opt out of, socializing with people, you can opt out of responsibilities, you can, go have conversations with, other people that are also broke, with your broke friends. There's an appeal to it. You can do things with where you don't need to have money. You can be in that energy of, oh well, don't you guys know that I don't have money, blah blah blah, all that. There's an appeal to that, and that's what I was attracted to, and that's why I didn't make those money generating activities. But it's very counterintuitive to say that, because everyone's supposed to say, yes, I do like money. I want to make money. I want to make money. Some people don't want to make money. Some people want to be broke. They enjoy it. They enjoy that part. The same way, like some men like being with women that um, they like being with women that they give money to. That they are like tricks. Now they are not. It's very few a few men who will say that yes, I do actually enjoy giving women money. That's what makes me feel alive. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. But a lot of men will see that as being like soft or whatever. Or like men who like being with women who embarrass them, women who don't respect them, they're like giving money. There are lots of men that like giving money. Once you're with them, when you're with them, you know it. They're generous. Like they're just naturally generous. Oh, my life is about to end in 4 minutes. Drag the puzzle. Which one should I drag? Okay. These are men that they feel uh, they brag about giving women money. They feel good. They feel good giving men money. I've been with a few men who like giving women money. They feel like what's the word I'm looking for? Mm, it gives them a sense of power, a sense of they feel like a man. You know, they. But most men are not going to say that nowadays. Most men are not going to say that. They're not going to say that. They don't. Some men don't even know that that's what they like. Because they themselves don't acknowledge that in themselves. But when you're with them, when you're with a guy who enjoys giving you money or enjoys buying you things, and you don't even have to ask him, that means he likes it. If he didn't like it, he wouldn't be doing it. And if he's been doing it with every other woman that he's dating, then that's what he likes doing. You know, it's kind of like these women, these men that like dating women, that toxic women, like they say, like what they call toxic women who are uh, um, unstable. They like the highs and the lows. These men will shout up and down to say, I want my peace. I want this. I'm not dating these women here, these bitches, this. But every time you see them, they're with those kind of women. They're with these toxic women because they like it. They like the excitement. They like the excitement, the energy that woman brings to them. They will never date a woman, or they won't stay long with a woman who's like calm and centered. That's the woman they would say is boring. She's boring. She's like, we were not aligned. We were not this. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's politically incorrect to say that, but your subconscious shows you what is true, because that's the life you live. Whatever you're living in your life, that's what you really want. Even if you say that you don't want that, that's not what you want. If you've been doing that for like a year or more, or you've always been in a relationship like that, or you've always been in those kind of situations, then there's a part of you that likes that. So why did I go all this way? What was I talking about? From embracing the whore to this. Um, yeah, embracing. I was talking about embracing the whore. Yeah, it's like it's a counterintuitive to embrace the whore in 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 this woman, especially this distinct woman, because it's not it's frowned upon to embrace the whore in you. But the whore in you is the one that's sexual in you. Even if you're in a relationship, and this is not just for you to be in a relationship, and this is not just about sex. But let's just use sex as an example. Even in a relationship, if you don't embrace the whore in you, how are you supposed to be sexual with your man? How are you supposed to do things in your when you're having a sexual activity? What you are you just gonna lie there like a dead fish or like a dead log? To be active in sex, you have to be like a whore. You have to be almost like a dominatrix. That's the whore in you. If you don't acknowledge her, then you're not going to be able to do those things. You're not going to be able to speak up. Um, Even in that basic level, that basic part, to ask a man for sex to be, that's the whole. That's not the mother archetype. That's not a child archetype. It's not a child archetype. It's not a mother archetype. It's not the saboteur archetype. That's the whole archetype in you. So that part of you has to be embraced, during sex, but also during feeling alive, walking down the street, shaking your waist, walking down with a buoyancy. That's the sexual part of you that does that, being free, in your body, to walk in front of groups of men, to talk about, teach about things in front of thousands of people. That's the sexual primal part of you that's doing that. Your expression, how you're expressing yourself, not just not reading from a book, but expressing what you truly feel. That's the sexual part of you, the primal part of you that says what you really want to say. You're not hiding behind. You're even sharing embarrassing things about you, sharing things that are like frowned upon, like like you're not supposed to say those kind of things. That's the part of you that is true. So that's that also sexual primal part of you. And you need that part if you want to make an impact. If you're going to be teaching, if you're going to be teaching people how to dance, you definitely have to know how to move your body. You have to be sexual. That's your sexual energy. If you're stiff, you can't teach people how to dance. So it's your sexual energy that animates your body like that. If you're going to be massaging people, if you're going to be healing people with your hands, with your body, that's your body, your feeling center that has to be aroused. That has to be. So I think my life is about to end. I only put like 1.5 hours in there. They just told me that I've only got 5 minutes left. So thank you so much for all the hats. Thank you so much for all of you that joined me. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for contributions, questions, um, your personal experiences that you've had. Just to remind everyone, if you're watching me on TikTok, TikTok, if you're watching me on TikTok, hello. You can subscribe to my channel. It's £10 a month. I think it'll be about like $8 or something per month. I will be doing live videos on subscription only, and I will be doing certain videos that only my subscribers will be able to listen to and contribute to. If you're watching me from YouTube, go to my link, go to my profile. There's a link that takes you to Patreon. You can also join my membership subscription there, and it's also £10 a month. I think it's £10. I'm going to be speaking and saying things in pounds because I'm in England. I think it will come up to like maybe $8 or something. And I will also be doing lives from there, talking about other things, my personal experiences, how I embrace the Wh0re in me, the things that I experienced that showed me that I have this blueprint. And trust and believe. I've been running away from this. I didn't want to teach this. I've been running away from this for like 4 years now, 5 years, almost 5 years, because I was terrified of teaching about sexuality, because I was scared of what people are going to say, and I just didn't feel like I should be doing that. But that's why I kept going round and round in circles, and every time I go round in a circle, I come back again to this. And so now I finally kind of said, okay, you know what? It's time for me to just submit to this, But yeah, I think I'm going to end the live here now. I don't think I have anything left to say. I might come on again tomorrow. We'll see. Thank you so much. Thank you, Keisha. Thank you, Leanne, Umi. Thank you so much for to YouTube too. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you again tomorrow or the day after. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good evening.